This is Sheriff Spotlight with the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, highlighting the office and deputies dedicated to providing law enforcement services and maintaining the trust and support of Rockingham County citizens, all while keeping neighborhoods and communities safe.
Welcome, Rockingham County, North Carolina, and people tuning into our broadcast from all over the world. This is Sheriff Spotlight with the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. I'm your host for today's show, Lieutenant Kevin Southard. In the studio with me today is our Sheriff, Sheriff Sam Page. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so let's jump right in to what we're going to talk about today. Tyree Nichols and the death of Tyree Nichols following a traffic stop in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
You saw the video, the body cam video that they released last week, and felt led to pen a letter about that and your feelings on that. Can you share that with us?
Well, let me go back about a week before last Friday. I was part of a Zoom meeting with the chief from Memphis, Tennessee, and also the chief from Atlanta, and there were several chiefs from the major chiefs association that were present, and maybe a few sheriffs on the line too from across North Carolina, across the country. But basically, they were talking about the situation where Tyree Nichols was the subject, had been stopped by the Memphis police, and about 2 weeks before, and subsequently he was beaten, and he apparently died 3 days later from his injuries. That was reported, and their concerns about the community impact, perceptions, and also how that would impact potentially across the country. And so I listened to the briefing, and then talked to my staff here about what I found out and what I was hearing. And then, of course, I understood that there would be a video, like you just said, would be released on Friday. I think information was released on Wednesday to the family of Tyree Nichols, and then on Friday at about 7 o'clock, I sat and watched different versions. I was watching a version from WSB2 down in Atlanta, which was an uncut version. And then I saw, I think, CNN and also Fox News, their representation was presented. It was very disturbing. It was horrible and very disturbing. I've worked in law enforcement for over 40 years, and starting my 25th year as sheriff. And you just trying to look and see what's going on with these officers. What are they doing? And I couldn't find any really lawful explanation of how they handle that situation.
Right.
And which resulted in this young man's death. And so I did pen a letter. I have it written, and I don't want to miss anything from. So I'm going to reference to and read from this.
Right.
Okay. And this is Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page shares his thoughts on the death of Tyree Nichols and the actions of the Memphis police officers that were involved. After watching the video camera footage released by Memphis Police Department regarding the death of Tyree Nichols, Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page had this to say. About a week ago, I found out about the in-custody death of Tyree Nichols following a traffic stop involving 5 Memphis, Tennessee police officers on January 7, 2023. I also learned that the officer's body camera footage was going to be released to the public in about a week. Also on Friday evening, I sat in my office and watched the newly released video footage. I was outraged at what I saw. I was totally shocked by what unfolded on the video, and I was saddened for Tyree Nichols' family and what they were having to endure. What I observed on the video of the traffic stop and subsequent beating of Tyree Nichols was, in my opinion, not only horrible, but the officers' actions were criminal in nature. That's the way it appeared. After watching the video, several thoughts came to mind, but the most prominent was that law enforcement officers are not trained to carry out their duties in the manner that these 5 officers did. The brutal beating of this young man at the hands of these officers was not only unbelievably horrific, but unlawful. In law enforcement, we have a duty to intervene in situations of excessive force used by other officers, and then to report the activity to hold accountable the officers involved. From what I observed, not one of these uniformed officers stepped in to stop the beating of Tyree Nichols at the hands of his fellow officers, and not one offered to provide him timely medical attention following the attack. Serving as sheriff for 25 years and law enforcement officer for more than 40 years, I believe that the Memphis District Attorney and the Chief of Police were correct in their decision to hold these 5 officers accountable for their wrongful actions with dismissals and criminal charges that followed. Every day, we in law enforcement try to build trust and respect in the communities that we serve. But a few officers and their actions can tarnish the relationship with the citizens that we serve across this great nation. When officers violate the law, they must be held accountable.
Absolutely.
In closing, I would ask everyone to pray for Tyree Nichols' family. I believe today is the funeral today for this young man. The community, pray for the community, and nearly 800,000 law enforcement officers across America who go out each day to serve and protect our many communities as the professionals that they are. And again, I signed that. I sent that out to our news services. I think sometimes when you don't say something, you say something, and I felt like it was important to, as a professional, to express my concerns about what I saw, and I hope we never see this again.
Well, one thing the public may not know, but law enforcement officers hate this kind of thing more than anybody because it tarnishes us all. And I would just ask the public to reserve judgment on the whole of law enforcement. Don't judge us by the bad actions of a few, because like I say, when stuff like this happens, that's not right, and we all agree to that, and nobody hates it more than law enforcement officers.
And when things occur that are not right and that are deemed unlawful, officers need to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
You know, we have an obligation to police our own, and to make sure we're doing it right, make sure we properly train, make sure we properly supervise, and again, when persons are not doing right, we have an obligation to intervene and to stop the action, but also we have an obligation to report that so there can be follow-up to hold persons accountable.
Right.
And you know, right after we had the George Floyd incident up in Minneapolis, we instituted a policy actually before we had the policy to intervene in an event, but now it's part of our policy to intervene and to report that action. So, we changed our policy, made our policy written, but also a lot of agencies across America looked at themselves also, what are they doing and stuff like this. But again, when stuff like this happens and stuff like it reaches anybody who's a professional in this business of law enforcement, it affects us all. And we every day we go out. Just remember this: there are nearly 800,000 officers that go out every day doing their job right, like they're supposed to.
And that doesn't usually get reported.
No,
it's when some knuckleheads like this do something terrible that gets all the attention.
There's always potential for a small amount of people. Somebody also said something about, well, what ways that you can prevent these situations, but not only training and supervision, but also you're hiring good, thorough background investigations, having a professional process to follow to make sure you're getting the best of the best when you bring those persons. Because I have said this before, I would rather be shorthanded in manpower than hire people that are not up to our standards to do the job, to serve the people of our communities properly.
And we do have high standards here. And speaking of hiring, we are hiring. We are looking for people that meet that standard.
Right here, I have 2 cards, handouts that are going out around the county, and anywhere we can get these out. And basically, one is for join our team. We are hiring Rockingham County detention officers. Starting salary $40,164.89, and it talks about the paid holidays, vacation, sick leave, all the other benefits there. They're associated with the job, and also we also have the information about patrol officers and stuff like this. So we are looking for some sworn officers to work in the patrol capacity, detective division. I believe we've got an opening in the detective division, and we're looking for some professional detention officers to come on board to help us work in our detention setting.
And I believe entry-level sworn officer positions for like patrol and so forth starts out a little over $42,000.
A little over $42,000. This year, our county commissioners, following a pay study, were able to raise our salaries above the market. I think they're saying it's 107%. So we're above the market value in the surrounding area and stuff like this. But I feel like we've got some good benefits. I think we've got a great organization. We've got a wonderful county to work in, and we work with our other law enforcement agencies around the county. But if you're interested in a career in law enforcement, or if you're looking for a career in detention, working in the correction side, contact us at Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. On the back, we have contact Deputy Scott Woody. He's our primary recruiter, but every one of our deputies, every one of our detention officers, and myself, we're all recruiters for the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. Every day we go out, we're diplomats representing this organization, and we wear the patch, 1785. Been around a long time,
right.
But it's a great organization, and we're looking for some great people to come to work for us.
Now, if you're interested in maybe becoming a detention officer, starting a new career, we'll actually be having a career symposium
February 18th.
February 18th with a focus on detention officers. So if you'd like to learn more about it, contact Captain Wendell Brown and reserve a spot there at our symposium. We have limited space and they're filling up fast, so you need to go ahead and call now, or you can email him. All that information is on our website. And
our website is rockinghamsheriff.com,
right.
And you can find out about our hiring symposium for our detention officers, which is coming up in February.
We'll have February 18th. It's a Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. Won't last any longer than 12. And what we're going to do is go over the basic job responsibilities of a detention officer to see if you're interested in it.
And if you indicate you're coming, it's RSVP, so
right.
we know who's coming.
Right. We'll be on hand to answer any questions that people may have concerning the job. We'll have application packets here as well. So call and reserve a spot if you're interested in a new career or know somebody that might be interested and looking. That's what it is, a career. It's not just a job, it's a career with great benefits. So call and reserve a spot today.
We've got a great staff that are there working now. And like I said, we're looking for guys and girls that are interested in a future career. Come see us.
Absolutely.
Go to our website, rockinghamsheriff.com. There's all the information there, and RSVP, come on and see us.
Now, you're headed back to the Capitol here a little bit later this week. Tell us about that trip, what it's for, and what you hope to accomplish.
Well, I'm a member not only of the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, where I serve as past president and on the executive committee. I'm also a member of the National Sheriff's Association Border Security Committee, which I've worked on for probably 10 or 11 years. I've been working on the border project for about 12 years, going on 13 years. And I work with sheriffs from all over the country here. It's not the border sheriffs are not just the Texas sheriffs now. All the sheriffs across America are now border sheriffs because a lot of the border problems that have come, criminal, human trafficking, and drug trafficking, it's in our communities.
You're right.
And so we'll meet and talk about those issues and how it's affecting us in our different communities to see what we can do to try to curb those problems and to combat the criminal element. But also, I have an opportunity. I've been in touch with Senator Ted Budd, and also Senator Tom Tillis's office, communicating with them. I'm going to try to get in touch with Kathy Manning, our House of Representatives, and see if I can't meet with them on the Hill on Monday or Tuesday of next week. But I'll be heading up Friday and working with my committee, and then also will be an opportunity for some seminars that can help to improve my knowledge and stuff that I do as a law enforcement executive.
Because we're always learning in law enforcement.
You never
Yes.
stop learning.
Yes,
you learn something new every day.
Absolutely. Now, about a week or so ago, you were at the North Carolina Sheriff's Association meeting, on which you serve as an executive on the executive committee. And you guys received a check from NC Cash. Tell us about that. What is it, and
the state treasurer, nccash.com is where you go to, where monies that are paid into the state but are not collected, and money that is supposed to really come back to you as a private citizen or your organization. So the Sheriff's Association had money to come back, and Dale Falwell came in, our treasurer for the state, came in and presented us with a check for about $1,800.
I believe it was.
Yeah. So hey, every dollar counts.
And if you're curious as to whether or not you have any money, you can go to nccash.com. Just follow the directions. I actually went on there after you told me about it. Didn't even know anything about it, and I was owed some money, so I signed up to get my money back. So it's very cool.
So it could be financially beneficial for you to do that.
Right. It only takes a couple of minutes to check.
That's right. But we appreciate our state treasurer bringing it to our attention. And again, like I said, we'll let other people know. I brought some cards back so people can see how to get to the website.
All right. Now I want to give an update on the law enforcement donations of surplus bulletproof vests, and where we are. We recently got an update, but I want you to take us back to last February or March, right in there. For those that don't know what the program was, tell us about the program, how it started, and where we are now.
Well, as you know, last year, Ukraine was attacked by Russia. There was an invasion, and a lot of the people that live in Ukraine, civilians, were losing their lives. Being shot and injured and stuff.
First responders out there doing their thing.
I saw the firefighters going out with limited protective gear, the paramedics going out, but they're still going out there trying to save lives, and the pastors and law enforcement officers. So I did a little research, and I saw where there was a few agencies in California on the West Coast, in Colorado, and some states were working together to collect used surplus body armor that still has some serviceability and protectiveness, and sending that to Ukraine from California. And so I started inquiring on our side, and I know up in New York there was some effort up there with law enforcement in that state, in New York. And then so I contacted our association. I contacted Secretary Buffalo with the state of North Carolina, the Secretary of Crime Control, Public Safety, DPS. And then contacted the governor's office, and started working on a project for a few months there. And we were able to collect vests, like I said, used surplus vests that had already been used, but still had some serviceability in them. And I got permission from the county commissioners, and we sent out a kind of a model that other agencies could contact the county commissioners, do the resolution to release the property so it could be surplused and provided to Ukraine, the people of Ukraine.
Right.
The only problem we had was we wanted to collect all these vests, but we didn't have a mechanism to get it to Ukraine. So I was searching around, and I got a call from Samaritan's Purse, out of Asheville. Samaritan's Purse, and you'll see the plane sometimes in Greensburg, PTI. And one of the representatives says, we'll help you get those vests there, and we'll help you collect. So working with the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, Chiefs Police Association, and other law enforcement agencies around the state, donations were made, vests were collected, and I got a call back about 2 months ago where we posted an article where it showed the vest going to Ukraine, being passed out through the ministers to people that need those vests, that for their protection. So we know they got to from Poland to Ukraine, helping the people there. They're in a bad spot over there. They need all the help they can get. I know they're asking for a lot of military support, equipment support from our government, from other governments, from NATO. But we wanted to do our part from law enforcement to let those vests still have ability to do some work to protect, get those vests in their hands.
Right.
And we did that. So I feel very good. I want to thank Samaritan's Purse for helping us being able to facilitate getting the products, that body armor to Ukraine. But I also want to thank all the law enforcement agencies across North Carolina that work together to donate.
Absolutely. Now, the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office has a new agency chaplain. Tell us about that.
Well, our new chaplain is Bishop William Phillips. Bishop Phillips is a pastor in the Madison area. He's also the mayor of Madison.
Yeah.
Now, he does a lot of jobs. Besides being the pastor at his church there, he's also the mayor of Madison. He's also works as a chaplain with the Madison Police Department. And I said, well, if you have any spare time, we could sure use your help and support. So Pastor Phillips, Bishop Phillips, has agreed to help us in our chaplaincy program at the Sheriff's Office. Wonderful person, grew up in Madison. Matter of fact, my chief deputy, former chief deputy, who's now the clerk of court for Rockingham County, Abner Bullins, grew up with Bishop Phillips.
Oh, okay.
So, and also a few other staff members from the Madison area. So, a good team working together. We enjoy working with Bishop Phillips, and I know he's going to bring good things to our sheriff's office and to the men and women here, because we need spiritual support from time to time, and he said he was there to help us.
Well, I agree 100%.
So we commend him, we thank him, and we appreciate it, and we're looking for good things ahead.
All right. Let's talk about the retirement of Kira, one of our canines that has been with us for quite a while, and you had an opportunity to speak there at the commissioners meeting where they announced her retirement.
Actually, Kira had the opportunity to speak too.
Well,
no doubt. Roy, you were there. And so what happened was we did a little retirement ceremony for Kira, our canine, Belgian Malinois. Been just turned 12.
I believe so.
Just turned 12. Had a birthday that night, actually. And when the audience was clapping, started clapping, Kira started barking. I said, dogs can't clap, but they can bark.
All right.
But I believe Kira had a good time. Dara Guerra is our handler. She's done a great job working with Kira. Kira will now be her dog, and they'll be together. As friends, Kira don't have to go out and work anymore.
Right.
But Kira's a wonderful dog, but the dog had done a tremendous job. Our canine, she did a tremendous job, but Dara had worked with her a lot, and they were a great team. And we just want to commend Kira for her many years of service to the Rockingham County citizens, to the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, and also we want to thank her handler, Dara Guerra, for her working with Kira.
All right.
And I want to thank our county commissioners for giving us the opportunity to do the presentation. Our chairman, Mark Richardson, was there, and we got a lot of photo opportunities and stuff, but Kira was barking, and I believe Kira had a good time.
And for our viewing audience, Roy, I'm going to ask you to put up some pictures of Kira now so everybody can see her. And I think it's great that she gets to live out the rest of her days as just a regular dog.
That's right. It was a partner now. It's continued as a partner and at home now. And I'm a former dog handler from the military, and we do have a great canine section. We have a couple of bloodhounds also, and we'll be in the process of and we do have a new Malinois with one of our new deputies, and also we'll probably be getting another Belgian Malinois also.
Right.
Dual trained, and we're looking forward to it. But we run 4 canine, and they do a great job serving the citizens. And our canine handlers, we thank them for all the hard work they do, because it's not just coming to work with a dog. You have to train to be proficient in what you do, in your tracking, your trailing, your other type of sense and detection issues and stuff.
Well, and that's a 24/7 job, because the canines live with the handlers.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. When you take on responsibility of a law enforcement canine in America and working for a law enforcement agency, it's a lot of time involved. But we appreciate the commitment of the handlers. We appreciate having the great dogs, and we appreciate their teamwork to help protect our citizens.
Well, we recently had some promotions here at the Sheriff's Office following the retirement of Lieutenant Jeff Connors, who was one of our patrol lieutenants, at the first of the year here. Why don't you tell us about those promotions?
Well, we had Lieutenant John Peters. Sergeant John Peters was promoted to lieutenant. John has been here for about 26 years. I was close. 26 years. Has done a tremendous job. He works for our SWAT team. He's been a great supervisor, all around good guy. And he's also a trainer, instructor in martial arts, and that's his passion. And but he does a good job for us here. Right. But he's going to make us a great lieutenant. Mike Mitchell, corporal, was promoted to sergeant. Mike's been with us for a pretty good while also.
I believe 16 years.
16 years. and he's done a tremendous job, and will continue to do a tremendous job. We have high hopes for both these young men, and we appreciate them for what they do. And we just want to give them a little shout out to Deputy Sergeant Mitchell, and also to Lieutenant Peters.
Yes, congratulations.
I want to say Sergeant, but it's Lieutenant Peters now.
Right. All right. Let's take a few minutes of the remaining time that we have here in our show and talk about neighborhood watch programs. Why are they important, and how can you set one up in your neighborhood?
If you're interested in reducing crime and protecting your neighborhood and your community and stuff where you live in Rockingham County, all you have to do is contact me at the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Sam Page, or you can contact Kevin Southard. Lieutenant Southard is our crime prevention coordinator. Also coordinates our community watch groups. He does a lot of jobs, wears a lot of hats, I'll tell you. And you do a good job, Kevin. But we've got, I think, roughly about 25 to 30 community watch groups around the county that meet throughout the year. And the big part of it is being able to be on the mailing list. When things occur in your neighborhood, you get a blast of information, what's going on, so you can better protect yourself, kind of be aware of what's going on. But also, when we have the community watch groups where we actually come into the meetings, we bring our detectives in, we bring Kevin, you're in, talking about crime prevention, I come in, and we give also an opportunity for the citizens in those communities to ask questions about how things operate, because a lot of people don't know how law enforcement agencies operate. So we have the opportunity to sit down and talk to the person one-on-one to explain, how we do, what we do, and why we do it.
Answer questions,
and also answer questions about current crime trends and other issues to better protect people and reduce the chance of being victimized.
Now, you talk about that email blast. Anybody can sign up for our email blast, and they'll get information sent to them right when all the other news agencies get it. If you want to sign up, go to our website, rockinghamsheriff.com. There's a place that's predominantly on there. Just follow the directions. You can sign up. I'll put you on the list, and you can get the news when everyone else gets the news. Now that being said, I think that it is important to have these meetings and groups, because not only what you said for accessibility to us and being able to answer questions, but I've actually been at a meeting where we started talking about something that was going on in the neighborhood, and it ended up solving a crime that the detective was working, and the folks that lived there, they didn't really think anything about any of this stuff, and together it really wasn't, you wouldn't think anything about it, but once you put the pieces together, which the detective already had some of the pieces, he was able to put them together from what they had shared with him and solve that crime. So it's very important to continue meeting like that.
That's right. And even when you don't have much crime in your neighborhood, that's when it's kind of like pest control. You spray even though you don't have pests.
That's right.
But like I said, we want to stay ahead of the criminal element to make sure you don't have criminal activity in your neighborhood. Now, you're talking about prevention. Okay. We also have a program called Crime Stoppers. The phone number is 336-349-9683. That's the number to Crime Stoppers. If you know of a crime, and it's anonymous, if you know about a crime in Rockingham County, you want to help us to get bad guys off the streets, contact Crime Stoppers at 336-349-9683. Leave your information. They'll give you a number. You could receive up to
$1,000. Yeah, we'll give you cash money. If you give a tip about a crime that results in an arrest, you could receive up to $1,000. Now, it depends on the severity of the crime and the people involved and stuff like that, but we'll pay you cash money.
Yeah. Remember, if you want to be anonymous and you tell us and you want to bring us information, contact us through Crime Stoppers, 336-349-9683, Rockingham County Crime Stoppers. Give us a call, help us solve crime, help us get criminals off the street, because we want to make Rockingham County, not only is it a good place, we want to keep it a safe place.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've had a very informational show today. I want to thank everybody that tuned in to our podcast here, and the people that are watching our video podcast. Thank you always for tuning in. As you do, we'll get together again here soon.
I hope I'll have an update when I get back from Washington. Hope to have an update to help let people know what's going on the Hill, and as it applies to public safety. And we appreciate everybody's support for what we do out here in law enforcement. say a prayer for all the officers across America that get out here every day, for our public safety officers, for our firefighters, everybody that works in public safety. Keep us in your mind, because everybody's working hard for you, our citizens.
Make sure to tune in next time to Sheriff Spotlight, your premier podcast for all of the information from the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.